This is Cece looking at CrowdStrike, CRWD, which reports after the close. Looking at the earnings tab, it's about a 7% expected move, which is sort of on the high range of the last two earnings moves, but as you can see, had a big move last November. Stock has been sort of trading in a bit of a range since going back all the way to May, and going back to the beginning, 2023, stock is up 56%. So that expected move is interesting the way it lines up on this range. It is, with the stock currently 150, the expected move about 139 to the downside, 160 to the upside, kind of puts the expected move a little bit below that range, right? Where you see, the stock in that range is traded about 140. It's just below that on the expected move. On the upside, at about 160, it's a little above most of these highs, although stock was up near 166 at the beginning of August. So I would say, looking at selling this move, a little bit more risk to the upside on this chart. It seems to be a lot more support levels, around that 144 range. Let's check out how some of these trades look. Let's go to just this week. Generate an expected move. Let's zoom in on this. Gives strikes at about, short strikes at 160 and 140, which is right in line with those levels we were just talking about. Risking about 300 to make 200 if it stays within that range. And the break-evens of that $5 wide wings puts you at about 134 and 162. Pretty decent, that's a expected ratio on a 5 wide Condor, about 3 to 2. Puts you at about 70% probability of profit, which, this is a binary trade. It's got 2 days to expiration. Basically, you are positioning that the stock stays between 140 and 160, looking to get max profit. If you're wrong, the stock goes below 135 or above 165, you're out $300 on a one lot. Just checking in, diving a little deeper into the options data just to see how this thing's been trading. Realized 30-day vol of around 51, which matches actually how it's been trading the past year. That's completely in line with what the 30-day options are trading. The options for this Friday are about double that at around 100 vol. So that is, the options for earnings itself are twice as expensive. And, once again, they are binary. And that's why you are selling the move for this event. And it's not really a factor of selling vol. The stock is either going to stay within that range or it won't. The other thing I wanted to check in here with the stock, or right around 150 going into this earnings report, is often an iron butterfly is interesting to look at around a big round number like that. We've got this centered around 149. I just want to bump this up a little higher. 150, 160. Let's bring this one up. All right. So now we have a butterfly centered at 150, $10 to the downside, $10 to the upside on the wings. Risking about 250 to make 750. Now, this is a straight shot position, looking for a max profit right around 150. And I just want to go to the chain real quick and look at the open interest on the 150 line. It's not anything extraordinarily large. It's about the same as the strikes around it, I like to, in this case, I like to look to see if there's a ton of open interest on a certain line, because that might be a bit of a gamma magnet. But in this case, that does not look to be the case. In fact, a little bit more open interest up at the 160 line, for instance. The other thing I wanted to check out here is going back to that iron condor. Talking about that range that this stock has been in, this condor is lining up a little bit below the highs and a little bit below those recent lows. If you wanted to kind of lean this condor on those lows as support, give yourself a little bit more room on these highs, let's look to bump up this entire condor. Give ourselves a little bit more room to the upside. It's $5 strikes up high. Let's take this one down a little bit, catch these lows. All right, so this is a slightly bullish leaning condor, risking a little bit more to make a little bit less, but gives this stock a little bit more room to travel a little bit higher, right? Catches that high, if that's a worry, catches these lows on the short strikes. It's kind of an interesting method to look at chart trading when selling a move. The stock's a little bit to the down, a little bit south of the mid of this recent range. And this is just one way to position, give yourself a little bit more room in case the stock went higher on earnings.